Hey guys, welcome back. I promised you guys I'd make you a tutorial on the mob-proof double doors. Some people pointed out in the original video I had these backwards. This is the proper way to what was I doing there? To do the doors from the outside, so I'll make sure I remember that this time. Alright, so let's do the color-coded thing, because that seems to be helpful in showing what's going on. We're going to have this be the outside, so we'll put a button over here, and on the inside we're going to put pressure plates. And we're putting the pressure plates one block away from the door blocks, so they don't interfere. But when you put the doors on, it looks like they're a couple blocks away and you could put it here, but it's just going to mess it up because each plate will directly affect the door. So put it one block away, and then on the outside we're going to do a button. And if you like your buttons up in the wall, you're going to have to kind of snake it out the back. You won't be able to hide it in the wall itself, unless you put it down below and then do it like that. That'll work too, but let's keep things simple. You may notice in this video that I'm not doing it the way I did it in the original video, and that's not because I did it wrong or anything like that. It's just that there are millions of ways to do this, and I want you guys to understand the theory behind it rather than memorize a pattern. Because if you just memorize patterns, you're not going to really get anywhere in understanding what's going on with these. So, throw some dust under there. Might as well throw up some plates too while we're at it. So we need to hook these plates up to the doors, and then we'll worry about the button, I think. I'm just making this stuff up. Alright, you got two doors and you got two torches. Unfortunately, the doors don't match the torches, so we have to invert this side to make them close. We want to make them closed when we start, so we start at a starting point, so to speak. To make things a little more compact, I'm going to put these on the side of these two blocks. So you got this torch powering this block, and this torch is on that block, so it goes off. And if this torch goes out, this torch is allowed to come on, powering the blue block, which powers the door, opening it. So let's open things up a little bit. Get some breathing room. Alright, normally what we do is you could just run a inverter directly to there. You could run a line of dust directly to there, it doesn't matter, just as long as this dust, when activated, is powering this block and in turn turning off that torch. And the same thing over there. All we're trying to do is turn off the torch that's lit, and that would do it. And that's the very basic pressure plates turning off, opening doors. You can adjust the timing if you add some inverters or some torches, and you can make one slower than the other, slow down a little bit so that they open up together. But that's basically it. You just want to have the dust going into one torch in a way that it's turning it off, and to the other torch that's on in a way that's turning it off. Let's bring the this down here. It doesn't really matter which route you use to get it down here. But what we want to do is we want to hook that up to these torches. You could do it exactly the same way as we did before, and as we did the plates, and I'll show you why that's a problem. we do it directly like that, that's exactly the way we hooked it up with the pressure plates, going directly into the torches. The button will open the doors, but what happens is they close right away. And I think I ran out of power. What happens if you have more than 15 blocks, you lose power, so you have to add an inverter to extend the power. There we go. Now one's way slower than the other, but we're going to fix all that. So that doesn't really work that well because you're trying to rush through the door and sometimes you don't make it and you get killed by a creeper. So what we want to do is we want to have a circuit that remembers that we push the button. And it'll remember that and hold the doors open for us until we tell it not to hold the doors open anymore. So I'm going to run this over to here. Just do that. And we're going to do a very basic RS NOR latch just to keep things simple. We're not worried about space in this particular video because I want you guys to understand what's going on, and then you can adapt it using various RS NOR latches, various sizes to fit what's going on in your world. Let's do it this way. Let's go over here. I think that'll be enough room. And let's do this variety. Got two torches. Basically all an RS NOR latch is two torches trying to turn each other off. This torch is now powering this block, which turns off that torch. And if this torch were able to come on, it would power this block, which would turn off that torch. You see how the dust comes down here? I want to keep this isolated for now. So the way you do that is you just put a block on top of that, and it'll cut that wire off so that this wire isn't contaminated by, actually this wire would be the one to be contaminated by the other wire. So what we have here is a RS NOR latch in its default state. We haven't inputted a signal into the lit torch, which would be your set from the button. So once that happens, once you push that button, what's going to happen? This torch is going to go out, allowing this torch to come on, which powers this dust right here. I think I'm a little too close. So when that happens, we can hook this line is going to light up. This torch will come on. This line here will light up, power on. We can run that directly into the torch that's lit, and the same thing over here. So now when the button is pressed, just kind of trace what happens. The button comes on, this line of dust comes on. That means this torch is going to go out, which turns this dust out, which lets this torch come on, which turns this dust on, turning that torch off, but we don't care about that right this second. It's going to run this dust directly into that torch, turning it off, and directly into this torch, turning it off. And it will stay that way. And it will stay that way forever. So that's great and all, but I can't even turn it off with the pressure plates now. So creeper's going to follow you in. So what we need to do is we need to reset this RS NOR latch. And to reset it, it's basically the same as a set. You're just turning off the lit torch. So whichever torch is lit, you need to run something to that so that it turns it off. Not too complicated. So what we can use to turn it off is if I step on the pressure plates, this is going to light up. It's not opening the doors because the torches are being powered. They're not being allowed to come back on. So we'll just run this line of dust. So we'll just run this line of dust through. Let's go around one more. Yeah, hello. We'll run this dust into here, and I'll go ahead and keep that isolated for now because this is a prime example. If this RS NOR latch was in its default state, if you remember, this dust is powered. you don't want that power running down this line and interfering with the pressure plates, because it will keep them from working. So you have to have it isolated in this case. Some RS latch designs, when you run it into the side, they'll be isolated automatically. But when you have the dust on top of these like this, I just have to put a block on top, and it will isolate it. So push the button, opens, stays open. Push the pressure plates, it closes. Come in from this side, it opens. So that's the theory behind it. This is not compact. This is a lot of excavation, but it's also easy to understand what's going on. So if that works for you, great. If you want compact, then do something like I did over here. So here's the way I did it before, and if I was going to do it again, I'd do it a little bit less complicated. I was trying to go for compactness, and that doesn't really work too well when you're trying to explain what's going on. So I hope the other video, I hope the one I just did allows you to understand what's going on. And then once you get better and better at redstone, you can start adding in some tricks like the repeaters to save space. Alternate RS latch designs is a 1x4x2 design that's pretty compact. So once you get a little bit more experienced and you understand what's going on in here, you can start throwing different components in to do different things and power your doors differently. If you want to just copy paste the pattern, just still frame this video and do that, but I would recommend learning what's going on first, and then you can see, or then you can build them yourself, come up with a new design that's even more compact. So if you want compact, copy that pattern or make your own pattern. If you want to understand what's going on, just remember what I showed you in this video. Remember that an RS latch, all it is two torch turning it off. It's turning each other off, and you want to take the unpowered state and run that directly into the torches that are lit, and then run a reset line from the pressure plates around whichever way so that it turns off the off torch in this case, because it'll be the on torch once you set it and the door is open. Alright guys, that's the theory behind mob-proof double doors. I hope that helps and you're able to build one from scratch on your own. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.